I wore LipSense for a whole year before I really realized that there was any other products in the line. Right when I became a distributor, a girl said to me, "Oh, I like ShadowSense more than LipSense." And I was like, no way, no way. Like, I knew LipSense was a superstar, but I have to say I loved collecting all of my big giant powdered palettes. I would watch girls on YouTube and they would dip a million colors and it would be beautiful, and I would try it. And usually it ended up like a muddy mess because they would blend so much together that it would turn out to be almost like in obviously pigment zones, but more of just a whole color lid. And secondly, I would experience so much fallout on my cheek from the powder that then I would be cleaning up my foundation or my concealer or my blush, and it just frustrated me. Not to mention the fact that it didn't stay all day. So as someone who has really watery eyes, I know women also struggle with oily lids, but for me, watery eyes are a big issue. I'm constantly touching, the outside of my eyes to try to wipe that the tears away, or just having makeup that can resist that wateriness is remarkable. So it's not just for, everyday users to get the most out of. It's for women who are trying to solve problems with shadows. So it actually has made me an everyday shadow user. And compared to before, when I didn't have a great solution, I sure had a lot of eyeshadows because I loved the way they worked and looked on other people more on video. And so I want to show you some of my favorites. So when I'm working with a new user for ShadowSense, one of my favorite things to do is to make them a trio. And when we think of making a trio, of course, we think of what their eye looks are that they like on an everyday basis. So the intention of making a trio, obviously, is to highlight the eye area with 3 colors so that it really makes the eye stand out. But more importantly to me is that you get the most for your money. So I like to start people off with something that is a very light flesh tone color. There's other options like Mocha Java for darker ladies, but these for me are great options. Sandstone Pearl is a great light match for me. It can be used as a highlight or even to create that fake awake. I have used both of these as a concealer for a really long time before SeneGence came out with better skin tone color matches for our concealers. Now that we have those flesh tone natural concealers in 3 different shades, I do think that's a better product for concealing, but for real, these will work. And they are great. I have even used one like Pink Frost that has a slight pink undertone to cancel out some of the darkness in my eyes, underneath my eyes. And so it's just, and it works as a great highlight too. Pink Opal Shimmer specifically is a beautiful highlight when blended out on the cheek. So I would suggest usually getting a flesh tone that matches you. I like these to be a little bit lighter though, so it brightens the area. Next, my other favorite for me is Mocha Java. Mocha Java is a light brown ShadowSense. It's very blendable, so it can be super light, or it can be layered up to be darker. I actually just applied it along this area for a very slight contour line. I could take it down here, I could bring it up here and just make sure I had blended it out. I use Mocha Java ShadowSense on my eyebrows usually. I'm actually using BrowSense today. I'm trying to convert to that product, but for the last year I've used Mocha Java ShadowSense on my brows, and it makes a beautiful brow. Women also use these to touch up roots because it will not come out until you actually wash it out in the shower. So another option for that is Onyx, and this is usually the 3rd most popular color in the trio because it is black, it is jet black. But you can put just a little bit and blend that out and just have a nice soft gray, or you can apply it a little bit more heavily for a dark black liner. Of course, it makes a beautiful brow for women who have really dark hair, and also it's phenomenal for root touch-ups. I have a lot of customers with super dark hair who are very conscientious of the stray grays between salon visits, and that's a really fabulous option. And can last several days in between your hair washing. So, okay, so I want to do just a really natural eye for you today. I do a lot of darker eye looks in videos that I do on Facebook, but I want to show you an option for something that I feel like is really, really usable for an everyday look. So first I'm going to take Sandstone Pearl. That's the one that I said that I used as a very light concealer. It was often one that I used underneath my eye area to brighten that zone. I just laid that down all over my lid. It's probably not necessary to do the whole lid, but I kind of like priming out my whole lid because I feel like it makes the other shadow even more blendable, and I have a lot of redness and veininess in my eyelids, so it really helps get that set. You saw me just use my finger. Sometimes I use a brush too, but because the applicator allows you to put a thin coat all over, I'm really almost just kind of pushing it into the skin and giving it a second to set before I apply the next color. Okay, I'm going to use the shimmer version of Mocha Java. So there's Mocha Java and there's Mocha Java Shimmer. Many of our shadows come in different finishes. This one in particular is a beautiful lid shade and just gives that little bit of sparkle that is fun and kind of makes the everyday look a little bit less everyday. So I'm just putting that on the outer area and just going to kind of work that in. I do kind of pat where I want that to stay nice and thick, and then I kind of use my soft blending hand just to blend that so that it blends into the next color really nicely. Okay, I always like to take the shadow that I've used on the top, so my darkest shadow, and get something like a smudge brush, or if you wanted a really heavy liner like we sometimes do with Onyx, I would get more of a liner brush. But I like to smudge out my bottom lashes. I have blonde eyelashes, so they need as much help as they can get to define that eye line. I just feel like it also makes the eye look larger. And just because I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and deepen a little bit along that lash line. You could certainly add a liner on top of that, but it is not necessary for an everyday look. Okay, last but not least is this pretty pink. It's like a dusty pink called Mulberry. So I want you to notice that I also used Mulberry on my cheek. So I have it on this cheek and not on this cheek. So I've used the Mocha Java for contour here, and then I've used Mulberry on my cheek. And over here is just a plain cheek, just with almond foundation. Okay, so I've already done that. All I did was kind of draw a little line, used a blush brush, and just, you know, worked that in until I felt like it was adequately blended. So I'm going to use the same color, and I'm just going to apply it kind of in that inner area. I think Mulberry is a beautiful, beautiful color on every single complexion. And I like to kind of wrap it around. It's so neat working with this tool. At first, I did not know how to use the tool. I always was pulling out my brushes and doing other things. But I have learned that that is a tool in and of itself for this product. And the less you move it, the more pigment you get. And all you have to do is let that set so that you get that all day color. So that's just a really light eye. I like to show dark, smoky eye looks too, but this is really beautiful. And then you could do it either with a soft lip for daytime or a bold lip to kick it up a notch. So anyway, I hope you can see the versatility in these products. I just love to hook people up with these, because when you put this on and you give it a chance and you learn to use a cream product, the fact that it's still on and you have to take it off at the end of the day is like everything. So I hope it was helpful. Bye.